Mother of India Kager. I came here today for several reasons. Initially, when I walked in here, of course, an emotion that I deal with every day is rage. That's off the spectrum. You can't even articulate that. Rage. But I want you all to know something. She said, when we look around here, we see adults. Who was that? Who said that? When they look out here, they see we're all adults. Thank you. When I look, I see people. My question is, on September 5th, the evening of September 5th, when my daughter was in her car, when the officers who followed my daughter, when they looked, what did they see? Let me start there for just a moment. Let that sink for just a moment. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa, socialized, educated, and I would be the only young black girl in the room. So I don't have what folks would call a ghetto mentality or even mannerisms. My daughter was the exact same, but uniquely beautiful in that she was highly articulate, a multi-instrumentalist. India played 5 instruments. She went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts. She fought for everything that was good, in a sense that her temperament, she never spoke above a certain decibel, and everything she did was deliberate and thought out because her temperament was one of being a type B. You would not know that she was in a room unless you turned around and saw her. Now I'm talking about my daughter for several reasons. I want each one of you all to hold in your mind someone that you love, a niece, a daughter, a neighbor, or some young person that you hold dear to your heart, and ask yourself, what would you do if you received the type of phone call that I received on September 6th? At what point do you have conscience and a heart, and on the level of humanity, not the color of your skin or how melanated or lack thereof your skin may be, but at what point, as a person, as a mother, as a sister, as a father, in the case of my young daughter, a young mother, very sweet and loving, inclusive. India was very spiritual. She wouldn't have hurt a fly. As a matter of fact, I need you all to know that most little girls play with baby dolls. She did not. She had stuffed animals, and every last one of them had a name. I have now only memories. And the reason why I came in here, and I'm sure you watched, there was a sense of discomfort, and I stood there, and I looked at each one of you. Many of you looked away. You couldn't look me in the eye. I recognize that this room is not full of my enemies. The question is, what is the mentality of an individual that would knowingly hold a gun, rifle, to a young woman in a car with her baby? Are you following orders? Do you have any conscience at all? What are you thinking? Are you thinking? So I want a show of hands. How many of you here have children that you love? You just love your babies. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We see the state of racial affairs in the United States right now. And I want you to know that every day when I watch news and I turn it on, there are triggers. There are triggers. Why is that? Because India Kager, who was raised in a law enforcement family, you all may not know this, her father, grandfather, my son, my brother-in-law, uncle, cousin, all law enforcement. I myself am a former police dispatcher, so I know. I don't look at you all as enemies, but some of you are enemies of the truth because you know what happened to my daughter. And you know that if the same thing happened to you all who raised your hands and spoke of your loved one, what would you do? Just pause on that for a moment. Let me talk about India, the young mother, on September 5th. The week before, actually, as a child, a 4-month-old son by the name of Roman Kager, who never met his biological father. My daughter, I brought her home to Maryland with us so that she could be close she had a job interview with Google. She was working throughout her pregnancy with the United States Postal Service, still creating her art, still playing her instruments, still writing her poetry, still being very introspective and sharing her spirit. Saturday, September 5th, she returned to Virginia Beach here. Left the afternoon between the hours of 1:30 and 2 in the afternoon. Left my grandson Evan with us. Evan, who is now 5, I need you to know he's autistic. And I helped my daughter with him. As a young mother, doing the right thing, doing the best thing, when she conceived her child, I brought her home in October of 2014. India had not been to Virginia Beach. She returned home, College Park, Maryland, to be with the family, and we support and love her. But on that day, she left, never again to return. For variables and circumstances outside of her control or my control, call it whatever you want, sir. Ms. Francine Ecker, the Honorable Brian Moran, Mr. Brown, Chief Bryant Washington, and all of you all who are here, you know what happened on that day, but you don't know the details. Why is that? Because there has not been transparency with the Virginia Beach Police. There has not been transparency on what happened, nor has there been any real support. So once again, you're not my enemy, but enemies of the truth. I want you to ask yourself questions if you are brave enough. The code of silence, India's father, police officer, DC police, code of silence. What is that exactly? Who are you protecting? And why are you doing it? Because as the gentleman said, you're afraid for your job. Why is that? Some of you sitting here, as I stared there, not in a confrontational way, but I wanted to see whose eye contact, who would look at me, be brave enough to do that. Knowing, oh, this is her mother. I'm not up here looking for likes, for media coverage or anything, but I stand because my daughter is no longer here to do so for herself. Why? What took the life of India Kager September 5th, when she left between 1:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, was not followed for half an hour as was reported by Chief Severa in the news. It was for hours. They were introducing my grandson, Roman Kager, to family members who live here in Norfolk and Virginia Beach. Attending a family reunion, that's exactly what they were doing. You're chuckling, sir. Is there any reason why you're laughing? Did I say anything that was funny or amusing? Would you like to share your thoughts?
Let's keep this.
Exactly. Now, let me make something clear to you.
Best we're trying.
What we're going to do now, I want you to see. Thank you very much.
No,
because that is. Thank you very much.
As I described at the very beginning, we're
Yes.
trying to elicit.
What we're going to do is this. I've talked to you about my daughter. Yes, come on.
But this forum is actually.
This is what you all have done. See, India? These are her death photos. This is what she looked like, and I live with this every day. The police have not released this. You all sit on that. This is a beautiful young woman, and this is what she looks like. Please allow me a chance to speak, because in this instance, I understand the forum, but I also understand that there has been a complete cover-up of what happened to my daughter. My daughter is not Angela Perry. She did not deserve to lose her life. She did not deserve to be gunned down in her car with her baby, my 4-month-old grandson, in 4 seconds. I'm asking you all, if you want to improve community relationships, it starts with you first. It starts in your heart and with you first. Look at her, this beautiful young lady. You all know the names of your co-workers. Stephen Ferrer, Kyle, Dana L. Royce, and James Thorson. You're working with them every day. They're with their families. India is holding her grave. And there are 2 little boys, Bowman, who was in the car. 30 bullets? Why? That's excessive. And any stretch of the imagination is excessive. Is that good policing? Sir, I know how you feel, to a degree. But do you want to know how I feel? Do you know what it's like to sit in a car that's ambushed and a flashbang grenade thrown when you're innocent, you've done nothing, and to lose your life? Let me move to solutions. She served her country. India was a Navy vet. And it is a year later, I still have no autopsy reports. Any photos you see there, that was me gleaning off. And what my daughter looked like, what she looked like. I stopped counting her bullets at number 8. There were many more. She was shot in her head. India turned to protect her baby. But in 4 seconds, she was never given an opportunity. Why? Because what she looked like? Or is she safe because of who she was in the car with? No due process of law, no matter what. She was not Angelo Perry. I am here for my daughter. I am here for my grandsons. And I need you to take a look. If this was your child, what would you do? Think about it. Think about this. And please, don't make this only an issue of white or black. I see humans here. But I don't have my daughter anymore. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. I want to talk to you all who want to come and engage me. I'll be outside, if you are brave enough to do so. But when you go home, think about your children. Because the thing that killed India Kager was hate. She was never given an opportunity. It was hate. And if you want to smirk and laugh at that, then ask, why is she not here? Anyone here thinks she deserved to die?
Ms. Best, I've been very accommodating.
Thank you.
You requested going last, which
Yes.
was accommodating.
Yes, I'm not done. But you know what? With respect, Honorable Brian Moran, yes. I've had to hold this for a year. It's a year later. The case is still open. The case is still open. Please, see each other as people. People. My daughter, 28 years young. I just had a birthday, the worst of my life. I go to sleep every night with a nightmare, and I wake up when I can't sleep. The first thought on my mind, she was innocent. She did nothing, and that's criminal. Murder is wrong, and you murdered her.
All right, so, let's see. Do we have anything further on the sign-up sheet?